Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Courtroom Files Live. We will start our day once again with Judge Simpson and see if he's in a little better mood than yesterday. Looks like he's already smiling, so that's a good sign.
Office, but if one were to arise, we would wherefore waive such a conflict.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Parody, there was no disrespect.
No,
All right. The court, for its part, does not believe that there's a conflict either under the Michigan court rules or the case is decided they are under, to the extent conflict does exist, given the waivers the court will consent to hear the matters. Court does call the case of the People versus Diane Mohammed.
Good morning, Your Honor. Christina Berg-Duran requesting permission to practice pursuant to Michigan Court Rule 8.120 under the supervision of Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Ashley.
It's good that you've taken the first seat. Permission to practice is granted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Christina Berg-Duran for the People.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Pate with and on behalf of Mr. Mohammed Diane. Please state your name for the record, sir.
Mohammed, pronounced Diane, spelled D-I-A-N-E, Diane.
They have it backwards in here, but anyway, all right.
Thank you, Your Honor. So it appears that last time when I requested an adjournment of this length, I was a little too optimistic in how quick I may be approved for a visit by MDOC. I did get notified, it was about a week and a half ago, that I had to supplement my online application with some stuff through the mail. That being said, I did submit my paper application through the USPS. I have not heard back yet whether or not I have officially been approved. My client is located in a facility very up north, but I am optimistic that within a few weeks, hopefully I would be approved and be able to get that video visit scheduled. Progress has been made, but we are still on that journey. So I would be asking for an adjournment. Frankly, it might be a while, maybe a month out.
That's what I was thinking. So today's the 18th, right?
Yes.
I was gonna say, I have court coming up in a different county too, so if I would be included in this scheduling, it'd be good for us.
I'm sorry?
I have court coming up in a different county, so if you let me know what date y'all gonna pick it, help me out, so, cause I have a court date coming up in a different county. I don't want it to
Okay,
interfere with.
do you know when that is?
I think is, give me 1 second. You know when my next court date is? I think it's July 15th or. You know when my next court date is for Jackson? You know when my next court date is for Jackson?
It's on the calendar.
Alright. John, if you give me 1 second, he's better to tell me right now, he's looking at the calendar.
Mr. Diane, you think it's sometime in July?
Yeah, I think it's July 15th, if I'm not mistaken.
All right. Well, rather than give you, my next court date would be July 16th, but that may be a bit early given what they're trying to do here. So let me just adjourn this to August 6th.
Since I'm gonna be going on a writ over there, that's why I was saying I'm not gonna be in MDLC, I'm gonna be going out there to Jackson.
Oh,
When is that supposed to happen?
That's what I'm saying. Is it July 15th? Is it July 15th?
Okay. All right, Mr. Diane.
What's that?
Did you look at that calendar for me?
I haven't got a chance yet.
Alright. Yeah, I'm not, I think it's July 15th. I haven't got the paper yet though, but they haven't sent me the paper, but I know it's like July 15th or something.
All right, let me do this. I'm gonna keep the date of August 6th. If they move you, we'll get notification in time to do a writ if necessary. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. Bond will continue.
and thank you, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court does call the case of the People versus Gabriel Boyd.
Christina Berg-Duran for the People.
Good morning, Judge Aida Spahic on behalf of Ms. Gabriel Boyd. Judge, hello, all the way from Bosnia.
Oh,
It's
Yeah,
nice to be able to
wonderful.
be in another country, Judge. Thank you
Yes.
for letting me allow me to appear via Zoom. I don't see my client on.
Yeah.
and they are not in the courtroom.
There, okay, let me just double check with my client because I spoke to her yesterday. Can we pass this matter, Judge, for about a couple minutes?
Okay,
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it.
not a problem.
Thanks.
It's hoping to issue an overseas bench warrant. Court does call the case of the people versus Michael Klustra.
Good morning, Your Honor. Uwe Daus on behalf of Mr. Klustra, also joining us by Zoom. Thank you for the remote attendance. Mike, please unmute and identify yourself.
Michael Klustra.
Here, this says people are going to be filing a nollie in the interest of justice.
You're going to be filing a nollie on it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Any objection to that, Mr. Duff?
No, we don't. We spoke with Ms. Landy,
All right.
and it's much appreciated.
This case is dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Today is 6/18. Court does call the case of the people versus Damian Poupette.
Ashalani for the people.
I'm here, Your Honor. My attorney is supposed to be on here too, but can't seem to find him.
Your Honor, but he is not right now.
My staff is indicating he was in Zoom, but he's now not. So let me pass it and see if he reappears. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Court does call the case people versus William Parker.
Ashalani for the people.
Good morning, sir. Tom Pietrowski on behalf of William Parker, who's in court today, standing to my right. If you would identify yourself, please, sir. Yeah, my name is William Parker.
Thank you. And good morning, Mr. Petros.
Good morning, sir.
All right, what are we doing?
I've had a chance to talk with Ms. Landy regarding a potential resolution of this. We're going to look into sobriety court. We're going to ask the court for some additional time to take care of the necessary.
I'll adjourn the matter then to July 16th, 2025, 9 a.m. I'll mark the file that you're looking at sobriety court.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Court does call the case of the people versus William Depkowski.
Christina Bergdorf for the people.
What is this set for?
This is an arraignment and pretrial, Your Honor. Mr. Tefelsky is physically here.
Depkowski?
Yes,
Where is he?
not in court. But he has been here.
You know what, Ann? You're gonna make this day longer for me, aren't you? Can you?
I can do it, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Paul Tefelsky, P52844 on behalf of Mr. Dapkowski.
Okay. And I don't have an appearance, counsel, or whatever.
Oh, you don't? I'll make sure I file one with the clerk. It
All
should
right.
have been filed
Very good.
a couple weeks ago.
I just don't have it. All right.
Okay.
Okay, as to the arraignment in this case,
Judge, I'll waive the formal reading. My client stands mute.
defendant having waived formal reading, standing mute, court will enter a not guilty plea.
Judge, I understand that the prosecutor is requesting a tether. My client is not opposed to proving his sobriety and taking and testing. However, we would ask the court to consider an alternative to the tether because he is a mechanic and he works with a lot of chemicals. And he was just explaining to me how the other day he was removing a gas tank from a vehicle and about 1.5 gallons of gas spilled on him. And I have had experience with clients before where if they get alcohol-based products on their bodies and on their clothing, it can cause false positives. And I don't want to have that happen with him. So I would ask the court to consider.
Well, but it's only going to look like a drinking event if he drank the gas.
Well, I think even
When they run it through the bottles, it's not going to look like a drinking event. I mean, I'll take that into consideration, Counsel.
That's fine, Your Honor. I've had clients before that worked in paint booths and the manufacturer recommended against it in those instances. But that's our only concern, Judge. It's not proving his sobriety. So we would either ask for a sober link or a random ETG testing and
All right,
And-
you want the pretrial adjourned?
we'd ask for the pretrial to be adjourned, Your Honor. We're gonna have him screened for sobriety court, see if he's a good candidate for that.
I'll adjourn the pretrial to July 16th, was it?
We have the second.
We also have a second. Well, if he's gonna get screened, he's in Saline, so actually he might qualify for ours, so. Let's do July 2nd, 2025,
Judge, I'm gonna be out of town that day.
July 16th,
Thanks.
2025, 9 AM. As to bond in this case, Ledge BAC,
0.13, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if I may, it was 0.137 and 0.134.
accident,
Your Honor, no accident. He was pulled over for speeding 30 miles per hour over the limit.
all right,
He does have a prior OWI from 2022.
he has a prior.
Yes, Your Honor. For those reasons, that's why we were asking for the scram.
Anything else you want to say before I set bond? Counsel?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Bond will be set in the amount of $15,000 personal recognizance bond. All other standard conditions, including no assaultive behavior or possession of any weapons. You understand that, sir?
Yes.
There should be no possession or consumption of any alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal drugs. I am given the prior in this case, and we'll monitor it, and I'll hear argument if there is a problem. But I am going to order the defendant be placed on a scram tether. And you'll need to report to community corrections within 24 hours. It might be best just to do it before you leave this facility because they're right over there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, good morning once again, everybody. Welcome to the Courtroom Files Live. Let's switch it up. We'll go to Texas and say good morning to Judge Stevens.
CR 364, as you know, requires a 30-day felony harassment of a public servant. So that there's where the up to 10 years in prison is convicted, very serious. And have you been hired for this?
Well, what happened, Judge, in our last court appearance, Ms. Dudley stated that she was gonna hire Mr. Galmore and he gave her time to do so. But from there to now, she's decided in her judgment that she wants to stick with me. So what I'm gonna do, so I just want to put it on announcement docket because he's not gonna hire Mr. Galmore.
Okay.
He's gonna stick with me.
That's right now? Yes, sir. We'll set on the announcement document. And 4 weeks, good?
That's fine. You got that.
Okay.
Just go.
Carol,
She's here as well. Ms. Kubido, come on up. And this is Ms. Kubido's first appearance on your announcement docket. I did download discovery on this particular case, so I just want to put her on, not announcement, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Her first appearance on your initial docket, the initial docket. I did download discovery and everything with her, so I just want to put her to the announcement. And we'll be ready to rock and roll.
just put it there. That's you, Carol, Renee, put it there. And Mr. Adams, is your plan to find one. You're charged, that you want to make sure that you. Know that the one funds with, there was 3 indictments in America speaking of being very large. Seconds. It alleges an honor about April 14th, 2024. In Jefferson County, Texas, he committed a second felony on both of a habitation, which carries with it, if convicted of no less than 2 nor more than 20 years confinement in prison and a fine up to $10,000. 24 CO 1318 and 24 CO 1319 allege state felonies in the case. 1318. It's only about December 7th. As well as just 24 1319 also alleges an honor about December 7th, 2023 in Jefferson County, Texas. you committed a state jail felony that's of forgery. In 1318, fraudulent use of identifying information. This fraudulent information in 1319. Now, these are state jail felonies, which carry over no less than 100 days after 2 years in the state jail. However, it's also alleging you have 5 prior convictions, felony convictions. And what that means would be. Is this, who's the attorney on this one?
That's Mr. Boyd.
Is this enhanced, their state jail felony, but, or is the punishment enhanced to a 3rd degree or a 2nd degree? This one. Because it's a 3rd degree, Your Honor. So you are looking at convicted of either under the state jail felonies that has a prior criminal convictions here that are alleged. And they're all state jail felonies. But prior convictions catch up with people when you commit another crime later. So you are looking at each of these 2 cases, no less than 2, no more than 10 years confinement in this. So we're looking at a total, and it's all said and done, and up to 40 years in prison. Yes, serious.
I think a little bit is.
Mr. Adams is very good lawyer, will help you navigate through this minefield so that you don't hurt yourself. What are we gonna do for them?
Just put us from the initial section to the office.
Okay, that's good.
That's perfect. Same with such data as lovely.
Did we set it for this?
Thank you all. Just meet me outside. Meet me outside.
I have Yanni, is it Nidvetta? Nidvetta? And forward. Yanni, Nidvetta, not the motion problem. And 25, CR 529, Yanni Daniel Mindietta. There is no answer in the courtroom. I asked if they you're home in the hall, so for Yanni Mindietta. Which is.
Just this. That's what we're looking for?
A bond on Mindietta. So, page 2.
Sorry, I got.
There's no answer here in the courtroom. No answer to the main being talked out in the hall. The defendant has failed to appear to that.
And Your Honor, I believe this is an individual that was here illegally. I believe I did deport him a while back when this was from the Jefferson County Jail. Though
It's a $5,000 cash bond.
Oh, that bond is revoked. No bond is ordered at this time until or unless the defendant gets rearrested. The state of Texas has information that he was deported on immigration and naturalization authorities. Thus, there is a cloud over his legal status to be in the United States. So you have to resolve that. It can be released on bond. So no bond in that case, and all to take the surveillance. Stackery pool in 2 cases, Stackery pool. That's to you. Picture. Achika? Yes. Okay, you were Zachary Leroy Poole.
Yes.
You were charged here in 2 cases, 23 CR 1044 and 24 CR 769. These two indictments, these are both state jail felonies. Could be worse, but they're still felonies. So it's a burglary of a building in one case. On or about March 21st, 2023, it is alleged the state jail felony, the burglary of a building. And then the 2169 case, is that on or about August 22nd. You committed this felony of theft of property. Did you tell them about this? This 104 piece, this 23 case is almost 2 years old. You've never been arrested on that? Where is your address still 12480?
Yes.
How long have you lived there? Your whole life?
Very much.
They normally, they'll look at that home address first. That's what it's showing. I've been waiting. I don't know what happened on that. Anyway, you're looking at up to 2 years in a state jail on case. So you understand that you work on that? Where?
I'm in between jobs right now.
Are you working or not?
No.
Okay, is that your final answer? You said yes, you were. 10 seconds ago. Now you're not.
I'm starting a new job, yes.
Okay, is it the same kind of job?
Yes.
Okay, okay. People sometimes move from one employer to another, but it's a similar job.
Yes, sir.
It's needed.
Yes.
Okay, when is that gonna start out?
Since on Monday.
Oh, good. How much do you make an hour?
18.
Hello. That's about 40 grand, huh?
Yes.
A year. You need to look to get some help on here. Lawyers to help you. Do you know any? Have you ever had to have a lawyer before?
Yeah, right.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a few weeks to talk to some people. They got some lawyers here, and it's one of them. Could help you, but you're, you get the advice.
Yes.
But you need to hire somebody. I'm gonna give you 3 weeks to talk to some people, to some that is and get hired. You might not have to be back, your lawyer can take care of that next day, court date, without you being here, but nonetheless, I'm supposed to have a lawyer along the way. If you don't have it, come back there, but you will figure out where you are at that time. The first thing is, you're on a bond, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the first thing in the bond is, don't commit another offense.
Yes, sir.
So, don't make a mistake like that, and that's your bond and you're stuck in jail.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes that takes a long time, so it gets wrong.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna get a resetting from this nice lady. If you hire somebody, make sure they got that reset, so they know when you're gonna have you back.
Yes, sir.
Hey, come on back, and we'll figure it out.
Yes, sir.
Just, and another thing, don't do this again.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
You learned a lesson, I
Yeah.
hope. Okay.
Somehow that is.
All right, let's head back to Michigan. It's been a few days since we've seen him. Let's say good morning to Judge Dad.
On behalf of Joseph Mackey, and I have T55824. Sir, your name?
Joseph William Mackey.
All right, so your client pled guilty to the charge of operating while visibly impaired. There were agreed upon cost of recovery of $150.
Yes, sir.
Have you had a chance to review the screening and assessment report with him, and are there any material additions, corrections, or deletions?
I did, and no, there are not.
Okay, anything you would like to say on his behalf?
Judge, I'm not into sob stories for an OWI. I got to address this situation. I happen to have buried a family member at age 62 last Friday from a brain tumor. His wife had battled breast cancer for 3 years. It's been an awful 3 years. They bowled every other Saturday night. This was a bowling night that was involved. His wife was too ill to go. He went out, his 50th birthday was coming up, people buy him drinks, whatever. Goes out after, which he never does. She passed away a short time later.
His guilt is overwhelming. He rides his bike to her gravesite every day because it's not included in his restricted license privileges. I really believe this was an anomaly. The only reason I'm asking and informing the court of this is because I know there's substance abuse treatment recommended. I would ask the court to consider, let's see how he does. He's not had a drop. He doesn't plan to have a drop. He knows what he did was wrong. His guilt is overwhelming. If he slips up at all, I would be all for whatever the court needs to do to fix that, but he's gonna abide by this court's order. Oh, thank you.
All right. Just give me 1 second. Sir, anything you'd like to say? I'm sorry about your wife.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think Joe summed it up quite well. I'm just thankful that nobody got hurt that night, and I'm very sorry for what I did.
Can I trust you're not going to do this again?
That's never gonna happen again. No,
Anything else?
no, Your Honor.
6 months probation. You cannot leave the state without the consent of the court or violate any law or ordinance. You change your address, your place of employment, or home telephone number, you must notify probation. You have to report as directed. No alcohol, no marijuana, no illegal drugs. You're not to purchase, possess, or consume any one of those. Kratom, poppy seeds, and CBD oils are prohibited. Consuming food or other items containing those substances will be deemed a violation. You're to submit to chemical testing, PBTs and ETGs. I'm going to make it monthly for 4 months and then on demand if you're clean. I'm not going to order the treatment program. I am going to order an alcohol education program, 4-hour program.
Thanks, Joe.
Through PERS. And the victim's impact panel. Everybody should sit through that, frankly. I'm going to also order, I forgot to turn on my video. There we go. I'm going to order fines in the amount of $300, costs in the amount of $300, $75 victim's rights fee, $50 justice assessment. I'm sorry, $400 in costs, $400 in costs. So you have $825 in fines and costs, screening fees $60 for $885, probation fees are $120 for $1,005.
You can pay today, Your Honor.
And then you also have cost of recovery of $150 for $1155. If you violate, your probation could be revoked. You could be incarcerated for 93 days. Again, 2 days jail credit, 1 served 1, and I'm going to let you do that with community service 1 day, and I want you to complete that by August the 1st. You may be eligible for early discharge if you're compliant. So in 3 months, if you want, if you've got everything done and there's been no violations, you can apply for early discharge and it will be granted. You have 21 days to appeal, 14 days to apply for a court-appointed lawyer for purposes of appeal if you cannot afford one. Do you understand that?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, he's got a clean record. I'm comfortable with this. You can pay that today?
I can.
And then you go over to probation and meet with them. I wish you well. Again, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you too, Mr. Cross.
I appreciate that, Your Honor. Always good to see you.
You too. Have a good day. Good luck. Daniel Russell Sapp, 25I-414-895. Could I have seated up here, please, Juan Ortiz at the table, my right, your left? Podium, sir. Your name?
James Sapp.
You're charged with driving on a suspended license, and you have the right to a lawyer. If you want a lawyer for arraignment, I'll give you one. If you tell me, Judge, I don't want a lawyer, I will arraign you, I will enter a not guilty plea, and I will send you to the Groseal Township prosecutor. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you want a lawyer?
I don't know if I'm speaking out loud here, but I did advised by the police officer on site.
I don't want to know what the police officer told you.
Well, then I would like one, yes, please.
Okay, you go ahead and you go talk to the defense lawyer. He'll set you up and then you'll come back in front of me, okay?
Perfect, thank you.
All right. People against Juan Alexander Ortiz. Come on up to the podium, please. 25B148377. Could I have Justin Schroeder seated at the table? Your name, sir? Good morning. You're charged with telephone harassment. You have the right to a lawyer. Do you want a lawyer? I'm sorry? Do you want a lawyer? You waive your right to a lawyer? Yes? You have to keep your voice up.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and arraign you, and then we'll go from there. You're charged with telephone harassment. This allegedly occurred on February the 18th of 25 at or near 19341 Allen Road in the township of Brownstown. Telephone harassment under local ordinance is punishable by up to $500 in fines, 90 days jail costs, or all of those penalties. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign the advice of rights and read and understand the rights?
Yes.
If you plead guilty, you will be giving up all those rights and there will not be a hearing or a trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. Again, you have the right to a lawyer. Do you want a lawyer?
Well, it was big communication. I was hospitalized for 3 days. And
Okay, so wait.
before, I really don't know what I'm doing here.
I don't know what you're doing here either,
Me
but
neither.
somebody charged you. They think you did something wrong. I'm
Yes,
not.
it was big
Wait.
communication.
Somebody thinks you committed the offense of telephone harassment. I'm not.
Miscommunication.
You might be the most oppressed person in the history of the American judicial system. I'm not saying you're not, but I don't want to talk about it. We should not be having this conversation. Okay? You can advance your interest if you want with the prosecutor on your own, or I can give you a lawyer. Either way, I'm entering a not guilty plea for you right now. I'm going to set a bond. I'm going to give you a personal bond. You showed up here voluntarily. I have no problem with that. And I don't mean to cut you off. I just don't want you to talk about the case and say anything against your interest. $1,000 personal bond. You cannot leave the state without the consent of the court. You cannot violate any law or ordinance. You must appear in court as directed. No contact with Jacqueline Elayan, Elayyan. No contact with prosecution witnesses except through your lawyer. You cannot possess firearms. You cannot possess dangerous weapons. Do you understand that?
Yes.
So just so you know, I'm going to tell you a little bit here. It says defendant contacted Brownstown Forest View, located at 19341 Allen Road in Brownstown, and spoke to Jacqueline Elayan. During these phone calls, defendant threatened to come into the business and, quote, shoot up the place, end quotes. He also told victim Elayan that, quotes, he knew where she lived and was going to shoot up her home, end of quotes, period. Police advised you to stop calling the business. You said you were going to continue calling the business. That's just what's in the complaint. I'm not saying any of this is right or wrong. And did in fact continue to call the business. Defendant called roughly 125 times within 3 hours. So I just want to be clear. You are not to enter or go near that address of 19341 Allen Road in the township of Brownstown. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You're not to write, phone, see, text, email her or anybody else, or have anybody else do any of those things for you or on your behalf. Do you have any firearms?
Sir.
Do you have any dangerous weapons of any kind? All right, you're not to have any. Okay, do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, let me check one thing here. No matter the disposition today, you have a warrant out of Taylor. Are you aware of that?
No. No, sir. That was taken care of,
Well, you better talk to them because they think also you have another one out of Lincoln Park, also another one out of Jackson.
I took care
Listen,
of it. Actually.
this was run on June 12th. That was only, what's today, the 18th? That was only 6 days ago. So unless you went to all those places since June 12th, in the last 6 days, those warrants are still out for your arrest. I'm just telling you. You understand what I'm telling you? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Now, you also have to go over to Brownstown Police Department today to get fingerprinted and photographed. By 1 PM, no matter what happens on this today, unless there's a dismissal, you're going over there by 1 PM today. Do we understand one another? And also, I'm gonna just give you a lawyer. It's a serious allegation. So you have to go over to the Brownstown Police Department by 1 PM today. First, I'm gonna give you a lawyer. You're gonna talk to the lawyer. John, tell him I arraigned him. And then we will go from there, and the lawyer will go in and talk to the Brownstown Township Attorney. Do you understand that? Do you have any questions? I can't hear you. All right? Do you fully understand those bond conditions? Okay, good enough. Schroeder, Justin Nicholas Schroeder, 244.
Let's try something different. What do you say? Let's go to Miami-Dade, Florida. This is the 11th Judicial. This is Judge Mindy Glazer. She is doing first appearances.
There is probable cause for the charge.
Existe motivo fundado para la acusación.
So I'm setting your bond at $2,500.
Así es que la fianza ha sido fijada en $2,500.
Have a nice day.
Que tenga un buen día. Ya se puede retirar.
Next is Joseph Foster on page 4. Good morning, Mr. Foster. You were arrested for possession of cannabis within 1,000 feet of a school and purchase of cannabis. I will appoint the public defender's office for you. So count 1 is probable cause for possession of cannabis. Count 2 is probable cause for purchase of cannabis. I'll release you on your own recognizance on both counts. Make sure to keep all future court dates, all right? Stay in touch with your lawyer at the public defender's office. You'll get notice of an arraignment in about 30 days.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
You too, miss.
Next, Jonathan Nunez. Oh, we gotta call the other one. Okay. Hi, Mr. Nunez. You were arrested for grand theft of a vehicle and also driving with a suspended license as a habitual traffic offender. Or
No, I'm not habitual yet, ma'am. It shouldn't be habitual. They
I
just-
I'm appointing the public defender's office for you. So he's driving a stolen motorcycle.
You think I can get pretrial?
I know what your priors are.
He's got a prior conviction for fleeing and eluding a police officer. State's requesting a bond.
He's a habitual traffic offender. Is he eligible for pretrial? Figure 100, you're not eligible for pretrial. You have a fleeing and eluding from 2024.
You gave me pretrial for that one.
Well, that's 2024, you're now 2025, you're still getting in trouble.
Yeah, I took care of it, but I'm innocent of this case. It's not stolen, trust me.
All right, count 1 on F-25 12619. It's just probable cause for driving as a habitual traffic offender. I'll give him TAP. I can't give you pretrial. TAP alternate bond $2,500. No driving unless you have a valid license, sir. The no drive order.
No, I'm on dry legal program. I'm already about to get my license. That's why I said I don't know how I'm habitual.
You can't drive until you have a good license. And if you keep getting tickets, you're never going to get a good license. So stop driving.
Yes, ma'am. But I shouldn't be habitual yet. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
The officer says in the traffic cleanout record, or you show as a habitual.
It's supposed to be 3 and 5 years.
What?
It's supposed to be 3 driving suspended license in 5 years. I don't got 3.
Well, if you wrote your traffic, it says you have 8 prior driving with CWS charges and a revoked driver's license as well.
Yeah, but it's not within the 5 years, man. Sorry, but it's okay.
You driving with a revoked license. Probable cause driving with revoked license. You're right. Maybe I should not give him anything, but I will. Tap
Wait,
off.
no state's objection. He's not supposed to be driving. Not only is he driving a stolen motor vehicle, and he's got convictions for fleeing and eluding, multiple probation violations, prison sentence.
All right, I'll set a bond at 25,12620. It's a $2,500 bond. No tap. And then the other case, driving with a revoked license. I'll set that at $1,500. No driving, no tap, no driving unless you have a valid license. Good day, sir.
Honor, on 619, you kept it at 2,500.
On 619, I set it at 1,500. I lowered it a little on that one. The other case was 2,500. Have a good day, sir. Next we have is Jose Padilla Casamayor, page 4.
Bond out.
Thank you. Carlos Molina.
Spanish.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. You were, good morning. You were arrested for robbery by sudden snatching, domestic battery, and also criminal mischief.
Ok, señor, usted fue arrestado por hurto por arrebato, violencia doméstica, agresión en violencia doméstica y daños a la propiedad.
The case from March 20th of 2025.
Este es un caso del 20 de marzo del 2025.
So I guess he had an argument with his girlfriend because he brought another woman to their home. So she told him she was leaving the house.
Ok, tuvo una discusión con su novia porque aparentemente él trajo otra mujer a la casa y ella le dijo que ella se iba.
He threw her cell phone and tablet to the floor, took a hammer and smashed the cell phone.
Él le tiró el celular y la tableta al piso, agarró un martillo y destruyó el celular.
And he struck the victim also with a dustpan. So there's probable cause for.
También golpeó a la víctima. Existe motivo fundado.
There's probable cause for the charges, except there's no value for the damaged phone.
Existe motivo fundado para las causas, excepto que no tenemos valor para el celular dañado.
Are you currently living with the alleged victim, Zenaida Cedra?
¿Usted actualmente vive con la supuesta víctima, Zenaida Cedra?
No, yo vivo con un amigo.
No, I live with a friend.
All right, so sir, no contact with Zenaida Piedra, the alleged victim?
Que el señor no puede tener contacto con la supuesta víctima, con Zenaida Piedra.
Ella ha venido a visitarme ya y todo, y ella no vive en mi casa.
She has already come to visit me and she doesn't live in my house.
Okay, so no contact with the victim, either directly, indirectly, in person, in writing, by telephone, or through third parties.
No puede tener contacto con la víctima ni directa, ni indirectamente, ni en persona, ni por escrito, ni por teléfono, ni por medio de terceras personas.
No contact with the victim through social media or other electronic means.
No puede tener contacto con la víctima por las redes sociales ni otros medios electrónicos.
You must stay at least 500 feet away from the victim, her home and school, and place of employment at all times.
Y tiene que mantenerse alejado de la víctima al menos 500 pies, también de su vivienda, de su lugar de trabajo o estudio, en todo momento.
Do not engage in any criminal activity. Do not use or possess illegal drugs.
No puede involucrarse en ningún tipo de actividad ilícita, no puede usar o poseer drogas ilegales.
Do not use, purchase, possess, or carry a firearm, gun, weapon, or ammunition.
No use, compre o porte armas de fuego o municiones.
Must immediately surrender any firearms, ammunition, and any concealed weapons permits to the nearest police department and file a receipt with the court.
Si usted tiene armas de fuego o municiones, tiene que entregarla al departamento de policía más cercano y presentar el recibo ante los tribunales.
Do you understand the stay order, sir?
¿Entiende la orden de alejamiento, señor?
Okay, I'm setting a bond. $2,500, count 1 for robbery by sudden snatching, count 2 batteries, $1,000, count 3 criminal mischief, $150.
Ok, señor. La fianza va a ser $2,500 en la primera causa, por hurto por arrebato, $1,000 de fianza en la segunda causa, por agresión y $150 de fianza en la tercera causa por daños a la propiedad.
Your Honor, would you be opposed to pretrial services in this case?
He has 4 prior domestic cases.
No, Su abogado está solicitando si lo dejan salir por el programa de Pretrial Services. Su señoría indica que no porque tiene 4 casos antecedentes de casos domésticos.
Okay, good day, sir. Next, we have Michael Simmons, page 5.
Buenos días, señor. Ya se puede retirar.
Good morning, Mr. Simmons. You were arrested for possession of crack cocaine. I will appoint the public defender's office for you. There is probable cause for the charge. Your bond is it's going to be pretrial services, alternate bond, $2,500. Have a nice day, sir. Next, Sherman, I'm going to also want to call up this case where the victim's here on page 13, Shamari Vernon, when you have a chance, okay? You got pretrial, sir. You can get out for free with pretrial. Next is Sherman Ferguson, page 5. Good morning, sir. You were arrested for driving with a license permanently revoked. I will appoint the public defender's office for you. There's probable cause for the charge. He has a lot of priors. Is he a signal? His priors going back to the 19th. Signal 200. All right. Maybe tap alternate bond, $2,500. Let me see something. It was a traffic accident. I think it was a traffic accident. Oh no, the unmarked police vehicle was involved in a traffic accident. Cap alternate bond, $2,500. No driving unless you have a valid license. Have a nice day. He has an address, right? Next is Cobbleman Williams. Might put that one in. Oh, next one. Can we bring in Vernon next after that? Hi, Mr. Williams. You were arrested for burglary to an unoccupied dwelling from June 17th. Then from May 2nd, burglary, grand theft, criminal mischief. I will appoint the public defender's office for you. I need a moment to review. We'll start with F25-12634 for burglary to an unoccupied dwelling. We saw the co-defendant earlier.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you are ordered to stay away from Chava Feldbrand, the alleged victim. No contact with the victim, either directly, indirectly, in person, in writing, by telephone, or through third parties. And stay at least 500 feet away from our home, school, and place of employment. Stay away from our residence at 17501 Northeast 8th Place in Miami, Florida. This fine will be $1,000. I'll find probable cause, though. And then the other case, F25-12655 is from May 2nd, burglary to an occupied dwelling, grand theft, third degree, and criminal mischief. So I need to review this. So he's there working as a lawnmower and then decides to break into the home, working doing lawn service. He decides to break into the home and he steals $2,000 of merchandise.
Property.
I don't know about a property, I'm sorry, not merchandise, property, but I'm not sure about the occupied. It became occupied because the victim returned home and saw him leaving through the back door. So is that enough for occupied?
We could do unoccupied, but I'll also look up the definition.
Order to stay away from the alleged victim whose initials are JS. No contact with the victim either directly, indirectly, in person, in writing, via telephone, or through third parties. Stay at least 500 feet away from the victim's home, school, and place of employment at all times. Also stay away from the victim's residence at 1006 Northwest 11th Avenue in Miami, Florida. I'll find count one, probable cause for burglary to an unoccupied dwelling. That's a $7,500 bond. Count two, there's probable cause for grand theft, $2,500 bond. And count three, criminal mischief is $150. Have a nice day.
Your Honor, is it possible we could do house arrest on this one?
No, I'm not doing house arrest for a burglary case. I'm setting a bond. The second degree felony. Next, we have Shamari Vernon, if he's available, page 13. There's a victim here. And also corrections. Let me know what happened to Jermaine Reeder and Leroy Hernandez. You asked me to call them out of turn as an officer here in one of the cases. Good morning, Mr. Vernon. You were arrested for aggravated assault with a firearm or deadly weapon. That's a third-degree felony and 2 counts of child neglect. I'm not sure if there's a victim here. That's why I was asked to call it out of turn. Is there a victim here? You have to raise your hand on Zoom.
What page?
Tell me when you see it. You want to stay away with her, right?
Yes.
Okay, sir, I'm ordering that you stay away from the alleged victim whose initials are SV, and also the 2 children, KC, and the child SV. No contact with those alleged victims, either directly, indirectly, in person, in writing, by telephone, or through third parties. No contact with the victims through social media or other electronic means. And you must stay at least 500 feet away from the victims, their home and school, and place of employment at all times. Do not engage in any criminal activity. Do not use or possess illegal drugs. Do not use, purchase, possess, or carry a firearm, gun, weapon, or ammunition. And you must immediately surrender any firearms, ammunition, and any concealed weapons permits to the nearest police department and file a receipt with the court. You may return to the victim's residence one time only within 48 hours of your release from jail. You must be accompanied by a police officer so that you can retrieve your personal clothing, health items, medication, personal and business-related paperwork, and work tools. If you go to the victim's home without the police, or if you stay there, you will be arrested. And with regard to your child, SV, in the event there's an open case in dependency court arising from the same set of facts and events as this case, then any and all orders entered in dependency court regarding your contact, visitation, and custody shall supersede or replace this court's order. Do you understand the stay away order, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. I don't know, the victim's here. I read a stay away order. That's what she requested.
Judge, in terms of criminal history, the defendant's got priors out of Broward, including.
House arrest. That's your point.
Okay, requesting level 2.
Count 1, 2, and this is from March 12th. Let me hear from ma'am, Ms. Vernon. Did you want to say anything else? No.
Yes, yesterday he came and got his belongings, so he doesn't have anything else here.
Okay.
We purchased the car together, and that's the car that's like the car I used for me to bring the kids around summer school, doctor's appointment, and anything else. And he's trying to take that car from me, and he's not even allowed to be driving.
That's not before me. If you equally own it, go to civil court. Let them argue it. Argue about that in civil court.
But I just want him to stay away from us indefinitely.
Well, I gave a stay away order, so unless the division judge modifies it, there's a stay away order. You can also go to the, get a civil injunction as well if you're concerned. And that's over at the Lawson E. Thomas Courthouse Center or one of the branch courts. I don't know if you can go up to North Day Justice Center and get one, but you can also get a civil injunction. All right?
Okay.
So on F-25, 12573, counts 1, 2, and 3, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon is going to be $5,000, count 1, $2,500, count 2, $2,500, count 3. Counts 4 and 5 will be $2,500 each count. And it's plus house arrest with a GPS monitor. I'm going to do level 3 house arrest. This happened in March with a curfew. Do you work at the day or the night, sir?
Work in the day, or from 10 to 8.
Curfew from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. Listen, she needs the car to take these kids, including your kid. You may want to just let that one go, but either way, that's a civil issue. All right, so it's bond plus house arrest. I split the bonds between counts 2 and 5. Good luck to you, sir. Just stay away from the victims.
Okay, so judging from the poll, this is a court we should keep our eye on. Again, first time trying him here, so appreciate the feedback. Let's stay in Florida, but we will go to Bay County. This is Judge Brantley Clark. He is doing felony hearings.
Get a payment each month. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but I'm doing my best. And I can send over documentation of the 401k hardship if need be. I think I already sent it over.
I got an email this morning. I just haven't had a chance to review it all.
Okay.
So the summer maybe 60 days and just keep on the fair restitution.
All right, we'll set it for August, August 20th at 9 o'clock.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, keep in touch, Brad.
Yes, sir, I will.
All right.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, Joshua Williams is out. Judge, last month, you signed an order finding Mr. Williams incompetent. The doctor had opined that he may be regained to competence within 30 days or so. We haven't gotten a status report.
Okay.
So I'm assuming he's working with Life Management Center.
Yeah. Yeah, met with Life Management. Yeah, is there a representative from Life Management here? All right, let's set it for August, July the, what was that, 22nd?
Do you want the motion date?
Yes, what's the motion today, 21st?
22nd.
July 22nd at 9 o'clock? At 9 o'clock for a status hearing. And Ms. Nelson, if you'll contact Life Management, they need to get to the jail, and if they haven't seen him, get with Mr. Williams. If they have, just let me know they have, okay? That'll conclude the hearing.
And Tyree Maddox. Judge, in Mr. Maddox's case, I'm supplying him a copy of a motion that was filed in the case down in Orange County that his attorney filed on his behalf. We're scheduled for an evidentiary hearing, but Mr. Sullivan I think both of us want to see what happens on the motion. The motion is set to be heard on July 8th. And so if we could have a date that the July,
Is that July 22nd is our VFP?
23rd.
July 23rd at 9 o'clock and 1:30, or just 9 o'clock?
1:30.
9 o'clock and 1:30.
and my understanding is he may be transported down there for that hearing. So we're waiting to find that out. Mr. Gates? Judge, in Mr. Gates' case, haven't been able to reach an agreement with Mr. Sullivan.
Okay. And we said we're hearing this afternoon?
We are not. He is serving child support hearing through August. Based on his score sheet and the state's intransigence, I was going to talk to Mr. Gates about possibly an open plea at the next court date.
Okay. All right, well, let's set it for July the 23rd at 9 o'clock and 1:30.
And Your Honor, I may be in that homicide trial, so if you'll, let's.
And I won't be here either.
Okay, I don't want to delay it if we can get something accomplished.
I think I think I've got a coverage that day.
Well, someone will cover for me. I just don't want to.
Me too. So we'll see what happens.
All right.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
And Marcus Hunt. Judge, in Mr. Hunt's case, we haven't been able to reach an agreement, so we're going to. If we can have just 1 second,
All right, Mr.
we'll
Hunt,
call you
have a
back
seat.
up.
Mr. Land, you ready?
Yes, sir. Judge, I've got one on your WOW docket. Judge, this is Mr. Terrion Kennedy from Division H. He is here in 6 cases on the docket: 24-1049, 24-1050, 24-1075, 24-1129, 24-1130, and 24-1131. At this time, Judge, as to case number 24-1049, Mr. Kennedy would waive his right to a trial, enter a plea of no contest to count 1, trafficking in methamphetamine, count 2, felon in possession, constructive, and count 3, no valid driver's license. The agreed to disposition with the state judge is as follows. As to all 3 of the counts, he would be adjudicated guilty. As to count 1, he would be sentenced to 6 years Department of Corrections, with 3 years of that being a minimum mandatory sentence. As to count 2, he would also be sentenced to 6 years Department of Corrections. They would run concurrent with one another. Fines and costs in this case, Judge, would be $1,078, and then also the statutorily mandated $50,000 fine. Both would be reduced to a civil judgment. He would receive credit for time already served in the amount of 450 days. With regard to count 3, he would be adjudicated guilty and given time served. In consideration of the plea, Judge, all of the remaining cases, the remaining 5 cases, would be consolidated. We would stipulate, Judge, to a factual basis for purposes of the plea, waive the formal reading of any fines and costs, and we are not aware of any exculpatory DNA evidence.
Is that the agreement with the state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Kennedy, you can lower your hand, sir, and state your name.
Terrion Kennedy.
Kennedy, you just heard the announcement of Mr. Land. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is that your understanding of the agreement with the state?
Yes, sir.
Has anybody promised you anything different?
No, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning which would impair your ability to enter the agreement or understand any of the terms and conditions of it?
No, sir.
I've been handed a plea waiver and consent form. There's a front. On the back of that document, it's a signature of the defendant line. Is that yours?
Yes, sir.
Have you had the opportunity to read that agreement?
What is that?
Have you had an opportunity to read that agreement?
Oh, yes, sir.
Have you had the opportunity to go over your case with Mr. Land?
Yes, sir.
Have you had sufficient time to speak with Mr. Land about your case?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with your lawyer's advice and counsel?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that by entering this plea, you're waiving your right to go to trial?
Yes, sir.
You're waiving your right to require the state prove the allegations against you.
Yes, sir.
You're waiving your right to have your attorney cross-examine the state's witnesses and contest their evidence.
Yes, sir.
You're waiving your right to present any defenses that you might have to the allegations.
Yes, sir.
You're waiving your right to subpoena your own witnesses to come to court and testify on your behalf.
Yes, sir.
You're waiving your right to testify to remain silent at the trial, which would be your decision to make.
Yes, sir.
You're waiving your right to appeal anything but an illegal sentence.
Yes, sir.
Are you doing this for your own free will?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kennedy, do you feel this plea is in your best interest?
Yes, sir.
You understand if you're not a citizen of the United States, you may be subjecting yourself to deportation proceedings
Yes,
by entering
sir.
the plea. And Mr. Perez, is the state aware of any DNA evidence that exists which might tend to exonerate Mr. Kennedy?
No, Your Honor.
Prima facie case, please.
Your Honor, the state is prepared to prove in case number 241049. On March 26, 2024, the defendant was found to be in possession of a substance that was later tested positive for methamphetamine that weighed more than 14 grams, but less than 28 grams. In addition, the state is prepared to prove that Terrion Kennedy, in March 26, 2024, after having been convicted of a felony, was found to be in constructive possession of a firearm.
I'll find there's a prima facie case, and we'll find that Mr. Kennedy's plea was freely and voluntarily made after consultation with his attorney. Is there any reasons we can't go forward?
No, Your Honor.
So we're going to accept his plea. Case number 241049 CF on count one, he's adjudicated guilty of trafficking in methamphetamine over 14 grams. Felon in possession, and that's under 28 grams. Count two, felon in possession of a firearm, constructive possession, and count three, no valid driver's license. On counts 1 and 2, he's sentenced to 6 years in the Florida Department of Corrections to run concurrent with each other for credit for 450 days time served on each count. On count 1, there's a 3-year minimum mandatory. He's assessed fines and cost of $1,078. Those include discretionary cost of $2 local law enforcement education, a $65 assessment, additional court cost, a $150 discretionary public defender fee payment, a $50 drug abuse trust fund payment, and a $200 discretionary fine. There's also, based on the trafficking charge, a $50,000 fine. All the fines and costs are reduced to a civil judgment. Let's see. There's no restitution out on the case. Is that correct? On the no valid driver's license, he's sentenced the time he served in the Bay County Jail, given credit for that time served. All the sentences are run concurrent with each other. And the state has indicated they're going to consolidate the remaining counts and cases into this case. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Have I left off anything?
No, sir, Judge, the only last thing we would ask is that if you could make a recommendation for placement in or near Bay County.
I'll recommend to the Florida Department of Corrections that Mr. Kennedy be housed in a correctional facility closest to Bay County. Mr. Kennedy, you have 30 days to file your notice of appeal if you wish to appeal your judgment sentence. If you'd like to have an attorney to represent you and you can't afford one, one may be appointed to represent you at no charge. Good luck to you, sir. You can step over and be fingerprinted.
That concludes my business, Judge.
Have a good day.
All right, let's leave Florida. We'll go back to Michigan and back to Judge McNally's court.
Additions, corrections, or deletions?
Your Honor, yes, I have received the report and I did review it with Ms. Jones. She indicates it's factually accurate. There are no errors or omissions to that report. Is that correct? Correct.
All right. Is there anything you would like to say on her behalf?
Yes, Your Honor. The recommendation was for 12 months probation. We would ask that that be reduced to 6 months. This is a non-serious misdemeanor. It would still allow sufficient time for the court to supervise Ms. Jones and for her to perform all the other requested terms of her probation. Other than the reduced sentence, we would ask that the court adopt the balance of the recommendation.
All right. So she and Mr. Machete have a child in common, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
can she and the father of her child get along well enough where I can allow them to exchange visitation, effectuate visitation, or do I have to have this supervised at a police department?
I believe they can exchange the child, and there is a corresponding Wayne County Circuit Court case that maintains jurisdiction over the custody and parenting time case.
So they were never married, correct? But what was there there was a case filed in circuit court for what? Child support and adjudicating him as the father, or what?
Custody and parenting time. The parties had Ms. Jones and Mr. Machete had a living together relationship that produced one child. That child is the subject of I believe, a 2023 parenting time custody case. And I might be wrong with the year. I did represent Ms. Jones in that custody matter, but it was a couple years ago. And the court, of course, maintains jurisdiction. The child remains a minor.
Ma'am, anything that you would like to say?
No, Your Honor.
So I'm looking at your record here, and I hope that you're saying to yourself, I've been in trouble 3 times in my life. I'm 29, and all 3 have involved the use of alcohol. I mean, you had 2 other drunk drivings, or impaired drivings, I should say, in 16 and 19. And this troubles me, and I hope it's bothering you, because you cannot do this. Okay? We understand one another?
Understood.
Is Thomas Machete here by chance, Lisa? I should have asked that before, but nobody stepped up when I called the case.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can, yes.
Nope, not on Zoom.
12 months probation. You cannot leave the state. I will take it under section 771.1. You cannot leave the state without the consent of the court or violate any law or ordinance. If you change your address, your place of employment, or home telephone number, you must notify probation. You have to report as directed. No alcohol, no illegal drugs, no marijuana either. You're not to purchase, possess, or consume alcohol, illegal controlled substances, or marijuana. So I see you use marijuana. That was fine. It was legal, but now you cannot use it. Do you understand me?
Yes.
All right. No alcohol, no marijuana, no illegal drugs. Kratom, poppy seeds, and CBD oils are prohibited. Consuming food or other items containing those substances will be deemed a violation. They're recommending weekly testing. I'll make it bi-weekly for 3 months. If you're clean, I'll then make it monthly for 3 months.
Thank you, Your Honor.
If you're clean, then I'll make it on demand, okay? You're to attend the domestic violence weekend program. You're not to have any contact with Thomas Machete except to effectuate visitation. You cannot possess any firearms. You cannot possess any dangerous weapons. I mean, I didn't read in the report anywhere where she'd actually been to treatment before. In fact, it says she is not. Is that true? You never went to substance abuse treatment? You've had 2 drunk drivings. Nobody ordered you into...
Yeah. She indicates she has attended substance abuse counseling and treatment through prior court cases. The 2016 and 19.
The court here says has never been involved in substance abuse treatment. Ma'am, I want you to go into AA twice a week until you're in outpatient treatment. Ms. Aycock, you have a form that you can hand her, correct? An AA verification form?
I do not have one on me.
If not, call to extension 230 here and we'll send you over one, okay?
Thank you.
So you have to go twice a week, and every time you have to go in person, and every time you go, you have to have the form signed, and every time you come to court, you have to bring the form with you. You only have to do that until you're in treatment. Once you get into treatment, you no longer have to attend AA or NA. So that covers pretty much all of that. I'm telling you though, I really am concerned about this. 4 days jail, credit 1, serve 3. I'm gonna let you serve those as follows. 2 days on our court work program, $35 a day charge for that for 70. 1 day of community service, and I'll give you until August the 1st to complete your community service. $100 in fines, 200 costs, 75 victims' rights fee, $50 justice assessment. 4 1/4 are your fines and costs. Screening is 60 for 485. Probation fees are 240 for 625, and you have court work program fees of 70. Your total 695. If you violate, your probation could be revoked. You could be incarcerated for a period of 90 days. You have 21 days to appeal. You have 14 days to apply for a court-appointed lawyer for purposes of appeal. Again, no firearms, no dangerous weapons. You're not to possess any of those or purchase them. I'm going to give you a review hearing date, Lisa, and then you'll come back on that date. If you're compliant, this case will be dismissed on the motion of the prosecutor. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. Can she pay all of this today?
Your Honor, she indicates she can pay $100 today, correct? And then if she could pay the balance at the rate of $100 a month, starting 1 month from today.
Judge, can I get your total again?
Yeah, you're going to correct me. 695, is that right or wrong?
I have $795.
You're right. Thank you. See, you got to surround yourself with good people. $795. You are right. Thank you, Lisa. $795. You're asking kind of a lot. She gets $800 a week. I'm not saying she's rich, but you pay $100 today. I'd like you to bring it up and you set up your appointment. I'll then set you up on $65 bi-weekly, and I'll start that beginning on June the 27th. If you ever need more time, you come to the court or come on Zoom, call us, and I'll go on Zoom and I'll give you an extension. But every other week, $65 after you pay the $100 today, and probation will instruct you today. Any questions?
No.
Any questions? Anything else, Ms. Aycock?
Just the review date, Your Honor.
Oh, yeah, I still need that, right.
June 3rd of 26 at 9 o'clock.
June 3rd of 2026 at 9 a.m. June 3rd of 26. Wow. All right, have a good day. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Over.
Let's go back to Judge Glazier. She is still going strong. I'll say this. I've been watching her court for a while before I showed it to you guys. Been watching for a week or two, and they stay busy down there. Lots of crime, it would seem.
So I strongly urge you to try and get a job and show that you're trying to improve your life or enroll in school and maybe learn a trade or something like that, so that it may help you with your case. Have a nice day.
Yes, ma'am. I'm on the works of that.
Un buen
Thank
día.
you.
Su señoría le ha aconsejado que se busque un trabajo.
Ok. Gracias.
Have a nice
Thank you. Que tenga un buen día.
And so wait, do you know your mom's or aunt's phone number for house arrest or no?
¿Usted tiene el número de
Yes,
teléfono?
my mom's phone number is 786.
House arrest is going to call to confirm where he lives. You probably won't get out until tomorrow though.
Ok, a la mamá y a la tía probablemente alguien los va a llamar de arresto domiciliario al teléfono de ustedes que él dé, pero probablemente él no va a salir hasta mañana.
So make sure to answer the phone if you see a strange number.
Así que asegúrese de contestar el teléfono si ve un número desconocido.
Ok.
Thank you.
Gracias.
All right, next we have Shimroy I'm sorry, what happened to Leroy Hernandez? Is he here yet? It's now 11:20. I'm just stretching. You got Leroy Hernandez or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Mr. Hernandez. Good morning. Was it your officer here that you wanted to? Is it Officer Piloto?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
The officer or detective? Detective.
Yes, ma'am.
Warrants to sign.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, does he need the interpreter?
No. Do you speak English, sir?
I speak English.
Spanish is okay?
He speaks English. Yeah.
Good morning, Mr. Hernandez.
Good morning, Judge.
All right, so one second. Sir, you were arrested for cases, retail thefts, petty thefts. I will appoint the public defender's office for you. So I'm going to go case by case. Also, there's a Detective Piloto is here. Detective, do you want to be on video or no?
Good morning, Your Honor. Yes, that's fine.
Is your right hand to be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you are going to give in this proceeding will be the truth? If so, state I do.
I do.
Thank you. Detective, please tell us your name and what police department you work for.
My name is Felix Piloto, and I work for the Miami Police Department.
Go ahead to state.
Right, I have no questions, but Detective, what do you want to tell the judge?
Good morning, Judge. I just wanted to respectfully request an increased bond, and the court impose a immediate hold.
Okay. Why is that?
Your Honor, unfortunately, Mr. Hernandez has become a nuisance in the Alapara neighborhood. Unfortunately, he's a repeat offender, and basically he's a repeat offender at this exact location, which is the Harbor Freight. Yesterday, he was arrested for, I believe, 5 separate cases, for 5 separate incidents, and I currently have probable cause for 3 more cases.
Thank you. All right. Does the PD have any questions for Detective Piloto?
No, not at the moment.
All right, thank you. So on F25-12642, this is from March 3rd. It's alleged he's charged with retail theft with a prior conviction, and it's alleged he stole $299 of merchandise. It says he has a past conviction for the charge of retail theft, so that would be probable cause for the charge. State, do you agree it should be retail theft or petty theft?
Because of the retail theft conviction, it would be the F2.
Okay. Sir, you are ordered to stay away from the Harbor Freight Tools business at 2851 Northwest 27th Avenue in Miami, Florida. You are not allowed to go to that store and you must stay away from there. I will find probable cause for the charge and set the bond at $10,000. The one ending in 42, that's plus a Nebbia requirement. You have to show the money used to post your bond is from a legitimate source of funds. The next case is F5.
Your Honor, he is homeless. Just wanted to present that to the court.
I believe the officer's present and requested a Nebbia requirement. He consistently keeps going back to the store, and he's allegedly taking merchandise there. So I think an increased bond is warranted.
Also, he was released from prison in August, and it looks like he may be on conditional supervised release with a violation. It says suspended.
All right. The next one is F25-12639, retail theft with a prior conviction from February 8th of 2025. Here he took items as well, $149.99. So there's probable cause for the charge. I'm setting the bond at $10,000 plus a Nebbia requirement.
What case is that?
The one ending in F25-12639.
Has 2 counts.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's 2 cases. He went to the store at 7:58 in the morning on February 8th and took some merchandise, $149, and then he goes, there's video surveillance showing on February 15th, he went back into more merchandise. So it's properly charged with 2 counts. It's $10,000 count 1 and $10,000 count 2, plus the Nebbia requirement. Then we have F25-12612, petty theft 2 or more convictions, same location. That's from yesterday, Harbor Freight Tools. He goes in, stealing drills. He went to the drill section and grabbed 3 boxes, left the store without paying him. He has 2 prior convictions. What this would be petty theft, 2 or more convictions. His bond will be $2,500. And F25-12611, detail theft with a prior conviction from January 16th of 2025. He stole $344.97 in his prior retail theft conviction. This bond is going to be $10,000. Oh, and the other one, all cases are plus nebia. That's it? Anything else? Nope. All cases have a nebia. Good day, sir.
Ashley, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships, and welcome to being a certifiable law junkie. To Jim, to JMaz715, to Patricia, to Brad, and to Psychic I Am. This is the best community in the LawTube space, and I will maintain that until the day I die. We're not the biggest, but I believe we are the best, and that's not just because I run it. These are good people. All of you are very good people. So those of you who got gifted memberships, please do thank Ashley for that. At the end of the stream, go to the Courtroom Files YouTube page, click on the members tab, and you'll find all of the things that you get. But some of the highlights are obviously access to some of these special emojis that members use. You get 20% off at the Courtroom Files store at courtroomfiles.com, and we've been adding merchandise there, and we'll be adding more and more as the week goes on. And our merch is good merch, so check it out. And you also get access to the pre-show a half an hour before this show, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, so be sure to check that out. Again, Ashley, thanks so much. Appreciate you a lot. Let's get back to Judge Glazer.
Of employment at all times, and no contact through social media or other electronic means. Do you understand the stay away order? I'm setting a bond.
Yes, ma'am. Can I ask a question? Can this be the same for her? Because she's still.
So if you're concerned she's a danger to you, you may want to go and file a civil injunction or call the police. But here it's alleged you snatched her phone from the back of her pocket and also choked her to the point where she almost lost consciousness. So there's probable cause. Count 1, robbery by sudden snatching, is a $2,500 bond. Count 2, battery by strangulation, will be $4,000. And count 3, battery, is $1,000. So you are presumed not guilty. These are just allegations, but I'm setting a bond. Stay away from the victim, sir. Next is Justin Baez, page 9.
He's out on felony bond.
Hold for F25-483. Good morning, sir. Do you speak English? Yes.
Speaks English.
Sir, you were arrested for a case from April 30th. Charges grand theft, organized fraud, depositing or cashing a worthless check, and fraudulent use of personal identification. I will appoint the public defender's office for you. You are out on felony bond for F25-483. There's a hold for you to see your judge on Friday. Tomorrow's a holiday. The public defender's office is appointed. So it looks like he cashed a fraudulent check at Truist Bank for over $5,000 back in April. Count 1, grand theft, is a $2,500 bond. Count 2, organized fraud, is a $2,500 bond. Count 3, cashing a worthless check, is a $2,500 bond. And count 4, fraudulent use of personal identification, is $2,500. And you'll see your judge Friday. Have a good day, sir. Next is David Vicente, page 11. Good morning, sir. You were arrested for battery by strangulation, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and criminal mischief. More than first degree misdemeanor. I will appoint public defender's office for you. So let me review. All right, so I'm finding probable cause for the charges. It says they don't live together, Steve. Why do I get a domestic? There, it's an Airbnb. He lives, I guess she lives in Tennessee.
The officer marks it as domestic.
All right, so I need a non-domestic stay away order, please. So you are ordered to stay away from the alleged victim whose initials are BP. No contact with the victim, either directly, indirectly, in person, in writing, by telephone, or through third parties. No contact with the victim through social media or other electronic means, and you must stay at least 500 feet away from the victim, her home and school and place of employment at all times. Do you understand the stay away order, sir?
Yes, yes, you do.
So I'm setting a bond. Count one, battery by strangulation is $5,000. Count two, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon is $5,000. And count three, criminal mischief is $150. Have a nice day.
Your Honor, would you entertain pretrial services on this case?
Violent, and I can't do that. He also came in on.
On denied probation and he came in on a bench warrant.
You have to visit the division judge if he's unable to post a bond. They can readdress his custody status or bond status.
Okay, we're going to go back up to Michigan and Judge Simpson. Do me a favor, though. YouTube is currently yelling at me that there may be buffering issues with the stream, but I'm detecting none of that. So if there's any issues you have with the stream, please let me know in the chat so I can try to address it. But on this end, I think YouTube's lying to me. But if I'm wrong, please let me know. Let's go to Judge Simpson.
Your Honor, for arraignment, can you state your name, Linda?
Linda Downer.
Thank you. Your Honor, for arraignment purposes, we would waive reading and stand mute.
And on every way from a reading, standing mute, court will enter a not guilty plea.
Your Honor, for pretrial, I inform Mr. Siller, my client is going to just plead guilty to the charge. I'm going to be moving for immediate sentencing, but of course, that's not a part of the plea, and understand that as well.
All right. So she's just going to be pleading.
She is, Your Honor.
This is a 90-day.
Yes.
500. All right. May I have her sworn?
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
State your name.
Linda Downer.
All right. Ma'am, it is this court's understanding that you are going to be pleading guilty to the charge of open intoxicants in a motor vehicle. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
That is a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days in jail, $500 fine plus court costs, community service, and any substance abuse treatment the court deems necessary. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Understanding that, you still wish to plead guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And to that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right. You understand that by pleading guilty, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You've signed any advice of rights for him today?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Any question regarding any of those rights?
No, Your Honor.
Please look at paragraph 5. Those are your rights which are part of a trial. You understand that by pleading guilty, you'll be giving up those rights as well as all the rights on that form.
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you on probation or parole?
No.
Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today on the record to get you to plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you?
No, Your Honor.
You're doing this voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
Of your own free will? And because you believe that you are indeed guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. On the date of April 24th, 2025, Laura Road, Pittsfield Township, Washington County, State of Michigan, were you a driver of a motor vehicle?
Was I driving?
Yes.
No.
Well, you drove to Meyer, is that correct? Across the street?
Yeah, across the street, yes.
Okay. All right. And were there open intoxicants in your motor vehicle?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. What were they?
It was some wine that I'd been there for about a week or two.
So it was wine?
Yeah, about that much.
How much? That much?
Lighthearted, yeah.
Huh?
Low calorie, low alcohol.
Okay. All right, and it was yours.
From karaoke, yes, Your Honor.
All right, very good. I do have to advise you, ma'am, that while it may not be applicable in this case, since I'm going to do an immediate sentencing, but if you do commit misconduct like within the next few minutes, then this court, any evaluation or sentence agreement, the court would not be bound by. You would also not be permitted to withdraw your plea if you do that. You understand that?
I understand that. Yeah.
Counsel, have there been any threats, promises, threats, or other inducements which have led to this plea that have not been disclosed?
None from the prosecution. No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, very good. Counsel, have I complied with the court rule, and would it be proper to accept this defendant's plea?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Court will accept the defendant's plea of guilty to this charge. All right, anything you want to say, or she gets?
Oh, she doesn't look at, Your Honor.
Gallery, whatever.
Ms. Downer is 75 years young. As you've heard the facts of the case, I would respectfully request a fine.
Ma'am, anything you want to say?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. I mean, no.
It's okay.
No, I don't.
Sentence of the court, fines and costs of $250. When can you get that paid, ma'am?
Today.
Thank you. Pay $250 today. Also spend 90 days in jail.
All right. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, thank you.
Let's call the case, People versus Kamara Reed.
Ashley Lonnie for the people.
Again, Your Honor, Dan Guerin on behalf of Kamara Reed, she's stepping forward.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, Ms. Reed is here, I believe for a pretrial and a bond violation, and however order Your Honor would like to proceed, she will be admitting to the bond violation and then ultimately pleading guilty as charged. So however Your Honor would like to approach that.
Well, she's admitting to the violation.
She is, Your Honor.
Is that correct, ma'am? Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Thank you. All right. And what are we doing on the case?
She's pleading as charged, Your Honor.
She's pleading.
Yes.
As charged. May I have her sworn?
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear to affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
State your name.
Kamara Reed.
All right. Ms. Reed, it is this court's understanding that you are going to be pleading guilty to the charge of operating while intoxicated. Is that correct?
Yes.
That is a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 93 days in jail, $500 fine plus court costs. Understand that?
Yes.
The court could also order any community service or rehabilitative services the court deems necessary. The court could order your vehicle immobilized, could order you to pay the cost of the prosecution as well as the cost of any emergency governmental services. You understand that? Yes?
Yes.
All right. Still wish to plead guilty?
Yes.
And to that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Now, you understand that by pleading guilty, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes.
You signed an advice of rights form?
She didn't, Your Honor, because she's in custody. I could have her do that now, or we could do that verbally, however you prefer.
Okay, you recall signing an advice of rights form, ma'am?
Yes.
Any questions regarding any of those rights?
No.
You'll see on the podium, I need you to look at paragraph 5. Those are your rights which are part of a trial. You understand that by pleading guilty, you'll be giving up those rights as well as all the rights on that.
Yes.
You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right.
Yes.
Are you on probation or parole?
No.
Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today to get you to plead?
No.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you?
No.
You're doing this voluntarily?
Yes.
Of your own free will?
Yes.
And because you believe that you are indeed guilty of this offense?
Yes.
November 27, 2024, location of Carpenter near Chester Drive in Pittsfield Township, Washtenaw County, State of Michigan. Were you operating a motor vehicle?
Yes.
Prior to operating that motor vehicle, did you consume intoxicating?
Yes.
What did you have and how much?
I had a couple of seltzers.
Seltzers? All right. Were you stopped by the police or was there an accident?
I was stopped by the police.
Why'd they stop you?
My lights were off.
All right. Were you ultimately arrested?
Yes.
Were you taken to the station?
Yes.
Was there a blood draw or a blood test?
Both.
Blood draw?
Yes.
All right. What were the results of that blood draw?
I would stipulate for the plea, it was a .09 blood test.
You have any reason to dispute those blood test results? No? All right. I do have to advise you that if I do accept your plea, if you commit misconduct between the time of my acceptance of the plea and the time of sentencing, that any evaluation or sentence agreement, the court would not be bound by. You understand that?
Yes.
I also would have to indicate that if you do commit misconduct during that period, you would also not be entitled to withdraw your plea. You understand that?
Yes.
Counsel, I guess the first question is, have there been any promises, threats, or other inducements which have led to this plea which have not been stated on the record?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
And has the court complied with the court rule, and would it be proper to accept this defendant's plea?
Your Honor, I would say for the record, just so it's clear, the stop happened just after midnight. So the stop for no headlights, I think, is a valid stop. I think we did stipulate that it was dark outside.
I don't.
Other than that, I'm satisfied.
We're satisfied as well, Your Honor.
All right. Court will accept the defendant's plea of guilty to this charge. Defendant is referred to Von Swartz for an alcohol screening and assessment and the victim's impact panel. Sentencing in this matter will be July 9th, 2025. At what time? 9 a.m. All right. Either as to bond, but as to the violation.
For the violation first, Your Honor, my client would waive her right to a hearing and be prepared to admit to drinking and ready to do that this morning.
All right. And that is correct, ma'am?
Yes.
You're waiving your right to a hearing?
Yes.
And you do admit, have you seen the violation report, ma'am?
No.
Okay, your counsel went through it with you, however?
Yes.
All right. And that there were on June 13th, 2025, that you were drinking?
Yes.
Very good. Court will accept that admission. How long have you been in?
She turned herself in yesterday morning. Is that what time yesterday?
8 a.m.
8 a.m. yesterday morning.
All right. How old are you, young man?
20,
How old are you?
21.
Where were you drinking?
Sorry. My dad passed away a couple of years ago. My dad passed away a couple years ago, and I'm not handling it probably in the best way.
You were 19?
18.
18 when he passed away?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, was that your drinking started, or?
Yes.
Let me ask you this, I'm not gonna hold it against you, were you drinking a lot?
Yes.
Looking back on it, when you were drinking a lot, what do you think would happen for you? We don't know how to answer that question. I mean, that's a tough question, isn't it? Suffice it to say, young lady, it would kind of make you forget and have the pain go away a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you in school?
Yes. I'm supposed to go back next semester.
Did you finish up this semester?
No.
What happened?
I stopped attending my classes, so I had to withdraw.
Where were you in school?
It's my sophomore year.
At what school?
Eastern Michigan.
So when your dad passed away, had you already enrolled in school?
Yes.
And you made it through how many semesters after that?
2, and then I took a gap year, and then I went back.
Those 2 semesters that you took, how were your grades?
They were pretty good. I think I had a 3.2, 3.5.
Okay. You took the gap year, then you came back. How were your grades?
Okay, I think I had like a 2.
Pardon?
I think I had a 2.8 when I came back.
Where'd you graduate high school?
Canton High School.
Did you do well there? You got siblings?
I have a twin brother.
You have a twin brother.
Yep.
Okay. What?
It's with mom in the corner of the courtroom.
Mom's on? Oh, okay. All right. So what do you think I should do with you? Well, before you answer that, let me ask you this. As you were going along struggling, trying to deal with your father's passing and things, did you let your mom know?
A little, but
Pardon?
a little, but not as serious as it had gotten. I don't think.
What about your brother?
I think he noticed.
You think he noticed?
Yeah.
Probably because he's your brother and also a twin, he probably did. Probably felt it. Did you reach out to anybody?
I've been seeing a therapist weekly.
You were? Yes. Okay, so how long have you been doing that?
I was seeing one I've been seeing her for like 7 years, and then I've been seeing one who specializes in grief for the last 3 months, I think.
Okay, so something that you started heading in that direction, dealing with her. Okay. How's that working for you?
It's going okay. I think I've been thinking about seeing someone else.
Pardon?
I've been thinking about seeing someone else. I don't know if it's a good fit.
Okay, so your therapist might not be fitting with you, right? Okay. All right. Now I'll get back to what do you think I ought to do with you?
Sure, I guess whatever punishment fits.
Give you a chance to prove you can stay sober.
Yeah. A chance to prove I could stay sober, I think.
You think you can?
Yes.
That wasn't real confident the way you said that.
I want to, and I think that I can.
Young lady, why do you think I asked you all of those questions?
See why I did it, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. Here's the thing that you don't understand and are just beginning to kind of explore. Grief is a horrible thing in a lot of ways. is. It becomes real bad if you don't deal with it. It kind of just sits there, and then at some point, while you try to sort of bottle it up and push it down, it somehow or another just all of a sudden begins to explode. Right? And then at some point, because you're not dealing with it, you're kind of out of control. And then it becomes harder. At the beginning, you probably could have told somebody, but by that time, you don't tell anybody because it becomes hard to explain. Right? And it becomes real difficult to, no matter how close somebody is, even talk to anybody because they're not, you don't know if they're going to listen or they're going to take time to listen. And the reality of all of that is what you want is you just want that hurt and other things to disappear. Right? Were you close to your dad?
Yeah.
Something's going to, I'm going to guess, but I know I'm right because I'm always right. But I'm going to guess that you were a daddy's. All right. Look, more than anything, and I'm going to tell you, I don't always talk about myself, but I'm going to tell you why I asked the question. Here I sit all these years later. I lost my dad when I was 16. So when I'm asking you those questions about grief, I get it. Okay. I'm going to let you know that if you find a way to kind of deal with it, you're going to make it through it. Okay. I didn't know your dad, but I can almost bet that he'd want you to make it through. He wouldn't want you trying to do this, trying to deal with all of this on your own. Okay. So in the interim, how am I going to keep you sober? Young lady, there's just right now, and partially because of the age you are, partially because of what you've been dealing with, a lot of things in life are real confusing right now, right? You're not sure the next step that you're taking, what direction that's going to head or what you're going to do, right? Okay, here's a suggestion I'm going to make to you. I want you to take whatever steps you're taking slow. I'm watching your mother over there. She's goosenecking trying to look over Miss Pilara's head, but your brother has been right all up in it. Okay. What that tells me is you got a family out there that'll just love you, they'll support you. And if you hadn't told them, probably after today, they'll sit for whatever time and just listen to you. Okay. And as you let it pour out to them, and I'm going to tell you, it's going to come out wrong. It's going to come out crazy. You may think yourselves crazy as it's coming out, but just let it come out. Okay? Said she turned herself in yesterday.
Yesterday morning, yeah.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I indicated defendant is admitted to violation. I don't think it does any good to keep you incarcerated at all. All right. So I'm gonna sentence you on that violation of 2 days in jail, credit 2 days use. I'm gonna let you go. I am gonna, however, order that you report over to the Department of Community Corrections. We're gonna put a scram tether on you. Okay? You got that?
Yes.
All right. You are going back to school in the fall. That might have sounded like a question. It wasn't. Okay, and that you can take that as an order. You're gonna go back. You're gonna just sort of walk that journey through life and do that, okay? You hear me?
Yes.
And I'll sign that scram order and we'll get you over there. All right, young lady?
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, you're welcome. And most importantly, sometimes what you just have to do, you just have to be kind to yourself. Okay?
Okay.
Got it?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You. Mom, guys, take care of yourselves. I don't know if you heard that, but she's getting out today. You're welcome. You're welcome. Court does call the case People versus Tasha Beavers.
So I think we're done for today. I was thinking about going a little extra, but to be honest with you, I think this day should just rest on that, because there was a lot of good words and good advice there, and hopefully she gets her stuff together. Loss is hard, but you learn how to navigate it, and you figure it out. Hopefully she figures it out. So all the best to her. Tomorrow we will not have a show. Tomorrow is Juneteenth. While we were doing today's show, I went and looked at a bunch of different court websites and whatnot, and it would seem that the majority of the courts that we cover are not going to be in session tomorrow. So we'll be back on Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, a half an hour before that for channel members. If you are a new channel member, I suggest that you turn on the notification bell, make sure you're subscribed, all that kind of stuff, so that you get the alerts for when we go live. Speaking of live, we have a 24/7 stream on this channel. It is Judge Fleischer dockets. I'm adding dockets to that every day, and it just keeps rotating. And every time you tune in, you should see something a little bit different. At the end of this show, YouTube will send you over there. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out before, you can check it out now. And that can certainly be something for you to watch tomorrow. Plus, I'll be posting other content as well to give you guys something to watch. Appreciate all of you. Ashley, thank you again for donating those memberships. Very much appreciated. Welcome to all the new members, and hope to see you guys Friday on the pre-show, which is 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. That sounds right. But again, have yourselves a great day today, a great Thursday tomorrow. We'll see you Friday morning. You guys are great. Appreciate you all so much. Take care. God bless.